You know, there is nothing in this world or in nature that grows by accident. There's always a process or a procedure in place to help something grow from this to that. But how? How do we grow from this to that? How do we get from here to there in anything in our lives? We will never grow by accident. Just because an acorn falls out of a tree and hits the ground doesn't mean it's going to grow. Or if I plant a seed in a bucket doesn't mean I'm going to get a flower. I have to introduce other elements into that process to help that flower grow. So what we're going to do in the Step Up podcast is we're going to look at what is one step in our lives that we can take to grow intentionally rather than trying to grow accidentally. You know, if you think about it, if I save $0 a month, at the end of a year, I'm going to have $0. That's just basic math. But if I save $10 a month at the end of the year, I'm going to have $120 at the end of the year. Now, we're not going to be talking about finances necessarily in this podcast, but that idea of if I start where something may be small, something grassroots, it can grow into something larger later. That's what the Step Up podcast is all about. Is how do we make little changes in our habits to have big returns later. It's going to be a lot of fun as you get to laugh at my pain, at my way of growing, and some of my habits that I put into my life to get a little bit better. So the challenge is going to be this. What do you need to step up to get 10% better by next New Year's Day? I mean, think about it. In your life, what would that look like if you grew by 10% in one area of your life? It could be in your finances, it could be in your dieting, it could be in your exercise habits, it could be in what you read. Honestly, you can fill in your own blanks as it relates to this podcast, but what if you got 10% better? What would it look like in your life? In fact, when I get better, everything else around me gets better. When I become a better dad, it elevates the life of my kids. When I become a better husband, it elevates the life of my wife. So when you get better, everybody else wins. That's what the Step Up podcast is all about. So I hope you'll join me monthly for a 10-minute conversation on introducing habits into our life to step up our game and get just a little bit better.